Titanfall 2, arguably the greatest FPS shooter ever made, is getting a spiritual successor, if that's even what you can call it. Made by 1047 Studios, the guys who made Splitgate 2, wait, what the fuck did they rename it? Splitgate Arena Reloaded, have just announced Empulse. The community is calling this a Titanfall 3 replacement, but as a longtime fan, I feel like this is missing some stuff. The biggest difference being that mechs are pickups. They are not individual. Mechs are items that are scattered around the map, preferably 2 at a time, that you have to go capture from one team to another. I know that these guys are huge Halo fans, so they love the idea of weapon pickups and weapon drops, but I don't think you can treat mechs and Titans that way. So much of the Titanfall 2 sauce is the fact that pilots and Titans are working together. That asymmetric gameplay is the big selling point of Titanfall. You won't have very much asymmetric gameplay going head-to-head versus one another. If it turns out that maybe every now and then somebody on the map has a mech that they captured and maybe somebody else doesn't, but if you really want that Titanfall DNA to shine, you gotta give everybody a mech. You gotta give everybody a Titan. There's only 2 mechs on the field at once. Both of them need to be captured by one team or another to make a difference. Not only that, mechs have no customization so far. They just have weapons mounted on their right or left shoulder. You don't have any of the iconic weaponry that would come from any of this. So much of the Titan's identity came from that main gun that any one of those 6 Titan classes in Titanfall 2 would use. From like Legion's Predator Cannon to Northstar's Plasma Railgun to Scorch with his Thermite Launcher, like these weapons had crazy identity behind them. I don't feel that same level of like, I'm gonna appreciate this thing when it's in front of me. Identity and archetypes are such a big staple of all of the Titans in Titanfall 2, and I'm not getting any of that out of Empulse so far. You can't just slap 2 on the map and then walk away. There's such a cat and mouse feel from having these things on the field, of me as a Titan chasing down pilots or as a pilot running for my fucking life to get away from a robot that is 4 times my size. Everyone deserves a Titan, even if you're losing. And that's kind of part of the magic for what makes Titanfall 2 work so well, is no matter what is going on, I will be getting reinforcements at some point. There will be a Titan that drops that I will get to use. Maybe I only get to use it for 30 seconds because I suck and I get obliterated by the other team. I do get a Titan, and that magical moment in the match gets to play out and I get to have my fun. It's going to be a lot harder to balance the game around all of this without feeling like you're just getting absolutely destroyed if the mechs are only going to ever be battle pickups that you get in the arena, especially if the enemy team gets both of the mechs at the same time because your team and you just suck. It's gonna feel terrible. There will be no wild card to try and help turn the tides of battle. Those matches are going to be incredibly one-sided. The other big difference is there's no NPCs on the battlefield at all, which in some ways isn't super necessary, but if you really want to sell that feeling of scale and eliteness, you're gonna have to put some extra stuff on the ground. Now, I know that NPCs are not in every single mode in Titanfall 2, but in attrition, they really do add a lot. It gives people who are not doing that well at the game a chance to like get ahead, feel like they're contributing, get some kills on the board so you can actually help build your attrition meter. And it makes those Titans feel that much more terrifying because those guys would just run for the hills. It feels genuinely pretty bad when you stomp on a grunt for the first time, and there's a lot of bespoke animations of them like losing their minds, panicking, trying to run away and escape because look, you're a giant tank with legs and you're just firing down on enemies left and right and nobody is surviving this encounter. And so yeah, it makes you feel like an incredible badass. Don't think about it too hard. You might have some guilt, but it sells the feeling really well. And if you're not going to include any of those NPCs in Empulse, then I feel like you're kind of missing out on what Titanfall is supposed to be. Now, I know this one sounds kind of small, but so much of the theming around Titanfall and what makes that game work and also give it such a unique identity is the bond between Titans and pilots. Mechs in Empulse are gonna just be equipment. It's not your mech. It could genuinely be somebody else's mech. It depends on how much you suck or how good you are at the game or whether or not it actually gets to be yours. But what makes Titanfall 2 so special in that regard is it feels like your Titan. You build and grow into this thing. They have different archetypes. There's different classes and weapons and all kinds of different configurations. And a sequel game honestly just needs to take that level of customization and just push it even farther so you can feel more and more like this is mine. This is my Titan. This is my bond. The art style of Titanfall 2 is this sci-fi military operation, while Empulse is this minimalist future cyberpunk kind of thing. To be completely honest, I think works really well and they could look really good as they do it. But that bond of like Titans aren't just equipment, they're like another extension of yourself, and giving more of that identity in place I think would help Empulse out a ton. I don't think the art style for the mechs inside of Empulse look bad. In fact, it actually harkens back to some other cool mech combat games like Armored Core, which are incredibly fast and super zippy, and I think you could probably pull off something very similar here by leaning into some of those same aesthetics. So I think it works, but there's some theming here that's like missing that helps draw the whole thing together. And right now, Titans and pilots are not partners. It's just more equipment for you to go grab and use. Now, the places where Empulse is getting a lot of stuff right is, of course, the movement. It's the wall running, the sliding, the paint bombs. There's all kinds of stuff embedded into that Titanfall DNA from the pilot side, making its way into Empulse to kind of give that smaller scale combat, that zippy movement. I'm slingshotting myself across the entire planet kind of feel. That stuff's coming over great. From Splitgate Arena Reloaded, there is a slide on slope mechanic, and so the first time I ever used that, I realized instantly that these guys could make a very, very fun wall running shooter. Where Empulse is nailing it is the movement, the wall running, the sliding on slopes, using a grappling hook. That stuff is all fantastic and really tells me that the team did think about what made pilot gameplay so impactful out of Titanfall 2. I had the idea way in the past, a long time ago, that they probably should have just made grappling hooks a default set of equipment in Titanfall 2, and it looks like 1047 Games got the exact same idea here, and now that's the case. You have a grappling hook with you 24/7. The other fun piece of equipment that they've kind of come up with to include into the sandbox is paint bombs. It's these weird grenades that you can throw on the ground that blow up and smear like paint. You can use them for speed boosts, you can use them for bounces. It looks like it's going to enhance your overall movement abilities. I actually think that's a great addition and very creative and a good way to continue building on the Titanfall sandbox. I just think that all of this stuff that they're including, even if they're doing the movement mechanics very well, without fleshing out that mech gameplay a little bit more and stealing more of some of that Titanfall DNA, I just don't think this game is going to be nearly as special as it could have been. So much of what makes Titanfall 2 and Titanfall 1 work is that asymmetric, both sides of the gameplay coin are really treated equally. And here in Empulse, it's just pilot gameplay all the time, which there's nothing wrong with that. I actually really enjoy a good round of live fire. That mode was a shit ton of fun and changed the pacing significantly in Titanfall 2 by just cranking it up like crazy, because it's only pilots. There's no Titans in there. So you have to be moving at breakneck speeds all the time. There's no way to slow down, pull back, and go, do I want to run away from this? No, the answer is always just barrel into the enemy, because you need to be moving quicker than they can to get a win. So I think that's where Empulse is going to be going with this one, but not including that asymmetric aspect, not leaning into that more and giving both sides of those coins enough weight. I just don't think that Empulse is going to be the game that we've all actually been waiting for. Because like I mentioned, 1047, they love mentioning this themselves. They're big fans of Halo. They fucking love that franchise. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I love Halo as well, but I also love Titanfall. I fucking love Titanfall. And without Titans, without giving them that same level of importance, it's not going to matter too much. The asymmetric gameplay is the point of Titanfall. If you don't have that stuff in place, then it's not really going to be the successor that everyone's trying to say that it is. Weapon pickups is a great idea. I love the concept of like, hey, who gets there first, who kills that guy, who gets that back. Like, that's fun. It's fun to fight over the power weapons. And honestly, making it so that you have some power weapons for your pilots, or hell, even a power weapon for a Titan, would be unbelievably cool and probably very devastating to the other team. You just can't make the mechs the power weapon. That has to be the constant. That has to be the through line through the whole thing. Don't lose sight of the main mechanic, 1047. Do you want to be the Titanfall successor that everybody's saying it could be, or do you want to just be another arena shooter with wall running? Because yeah, there hasn't been a lot of those lately, but for the most part, you guys are filling a gap in the market. Could either be filled completely or only partially, and I think the only way you're going to actually fill that gap all the way is by giving both sides of that asymmetric gameplay the weight that it needs. Also, if you guys are really going to lean into this from a longtime fan, please re-include the first-person embark transitions. I love third-person embark transitions. They look really good, but dude, the first-person like cockpit entrances in Titanfall 1, they hit so much better than anything else. Like knowing that you're getting picked up by the robot and slotted into the machine, or it opens up and you jump inside and then it closes and you're in the thing. Oh my God, dude, the immersion was just fucking crazy. So like, please, 1047, bring that back. A long time ago, I made a review for Titanfall 2. I'll leave the link somewhere on screen if I can, or it'll be somewhere in the description. So if you want to know what I really think about Titanfall 2, please go check out that video below. What do you guys think of Empulse? Do you actually think that this is going to be the Titanfall 3 successor follow-up replacement that everyone's talking about? I obviously do not. I think if 1047 decides to change some of the direction of the game, I think it really could be that thing, but right now there's just too much missing. Like, I'm probably gonna have a great time playing their whole like pilot gameplay aspect. I think the wall running and the slope sliding will be really good. Their movement and their gunplay already feels great in Splitgate. I think that's a really well-made game. But look, if you want to be the thing that actually fills the gap that the market has right now, then you gotta go all in. Gotta make those Titans, you gotta make those mechs more meaningful. They can't just be battle pickups. They have to be an extension of the player, and they have to be unique to the player. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like. Please subscribe. I will post another video next week, and I'll see you next time.